and welcome to Storytime with Enderman 103. I am bringing you storytime regarding the Season 5 YouTube or World War II game, and this is round 3. So, interesting developments all around the globe, and some stuff's been typical, some stuff's been really exciting, but overall it's been a fun game so far, and I'm really interested to see where it goes in the near future. In terms of victory points, no one has achieved victory point win yet. The Axis have captured a couple victory points. We've got Leningrad, Hong Kong, and Manila under our belt, but that is not going to cut it. We got to grab a few more on either front before we can call it a day and hang up our coat and laugh at the Allies. No, but it's been a fun game so far, and we'll get right into this. So, I'm not really going to do a recap based on turn order. I'm going to try to stay kind of in the theater. But in terms of turn order, I like to do it recap wise, where Germany goes first and China goes last, even though I know China goes first in turn order, but in recap order, it makes more sense to have them go last. Since they go before Germany's turn, I'm recording before Germany's turn. China's already gone. It's not a surprise, so I might as well just cover it too. All right, so first on the agenda is the Germans. So I could not take my Germany turn this week, or yeah, I guess it was earlier this week. So I had LT do it for me. I told him all the moves I wanted to make. He made them. And this is what we ended up with, and it's disgusting. I mean, there's so much crap everywhere. I'm not saying it's disgusting like, oh, I hate this, but it's just a couple tacks in Western Germany, a handful of guys in France, subs in 105, scattered in the Balkans. This, though, this is a sexy stack of stuff right here in Slovakia, Hungary, guys. That's 11 dudes. What is that? 5 tanks. 2 artillery and mech and 3 AA. That's a lot of stuff. And then joined by all this Air Force in Germany and the units there. We got 3 fighters, 2 bombers, 4 more tanks. That's ugly. That's ugly for the Russians right there. But I can't say that it is going to just end the Russians immediately, because the Russians have been quite the pest this game. They've been rather irritating. They have taken Poland, which is irritating. Like I said, they get $3 for that, just for taking that, because I did leave it open, and they just marched on in with one guy, because why not? But the Germans took the Baltics last turn, and I believe we had about 7 dudes and 2 artillery left, and Russia was like, no, that's not how this works. Marched all that stuff back in there from Eastern Poland. They lost 5 guys to what I had left in there. It was a good trade for them. But I also took Leningrad this turn. And this is something I've never seen, is Germany taking Leningrad, or Stalingrad for that matter, on turn or round 3. Never seen that before. So it was cool that I was able to do that. But I was preparing for Sea Lion. If you guys have been keeping up, if you've been watching LT's videos, and Clegg, he took my second turn. But I was preparing for Sea Lion. I had a carrier and destroyer there at a battleship. Well, you can see the Allies, being the pains they are, sunk all that. And so now that I have these 2 subs that I built that France attempted to sink, failed miserably. That's because we built our subs to last no limit. Unlike your French ships that are worthless. But you still got a couple there, and that's really inconvenient for us. That's a sizable fleet, considering the lack of ships in the Mediterranean and the North Sea and English Channel and the Baltics here. So, so Germany, I took Leningrad, and that. It's interesting to see how this game develops and makes you change your gameplay, and it was the last game that I played as well, and the game that I'm playing with LT that we have on pause. It's really interesting to see that just playing against a different person will make you think differently because they think differently, and how much it can change your game. And really, no Axis and Allies game has been 100% like a previous Axis and Allies game. There's too much chance, there's too much change. And that's what I love about this game. It's never the same, infinite replayability. So it's been a good game so far. But Russia, to counter this stack of stuff, like I said, they took the Baltics, took out a sizable stack of stuff that I had there too, just getting out of reach of this. And to stay out of reach of that, yeah, they took Poland, which is annoying. But they're building up a mobile army here with a few mechs and a couple tanks. And then they're setting up blockers so that I cannot take out that mobile army, which is smart. Because I do have 4 tanks there in Leningrad, and I would be able to just annihilate those 3 tanks. Well, 4 on 3 I wouldn't annihilate, but I would. The odds would be in my favor. That's what I'm trying to say. But then they have this air force up here in Nenetsia, so that's pretty much out of range of anything. But it was very, very crucial at the moment to take out. I had 4 transports there in 127, along with a cruiser, and all of those got destroyed by those planes, and my cruiser did not get a hit back, which is so annoying. But I have to deal with it because No Limit has to deal with the same thing on his turns, the horrible rolls. And so I just got to suck it up and say, hey, you out-strategized me there. That was a tactical error on my end, I believe. Sending the ships that I did to 127. But in other news, here in Ukraine, you can see there's some damage tokens, 6 of them to be exact, in Ukraine on that factory. And that is because that Italian bomber in Bulgaria decided to have a go. Their anti-air gun missed, and now it's at max damage. So I believe the max damage for a miner is 6, because 3 is when you can't produce units, and it's double that. So we're going to see if Prozac, who is now back to play Russia, is going to repair that and start pumping stuff out again, or if he's going to leave it and move to Stalingrad or move to Russia. Now he can't produce stuff in Leningrad again because I took that. So it's going to be interesting to see if he wants to play in the south. And I don't know if he does, because this is where the action's happening. So interested to see what he does there. I'm also interested to see what he does here in Amur with this 18 infantry and 2 AA guns. Manchuria and Korea are wide open. The Japanese have left the Korean peninsula, and they moved into Johor, and with all of their units that were in Manchuria. And now Russia has a decision to make. They can take the bacon, go for it, grab the money. They can send a guy into each territory if they wanted to, just to get the money at the end of their turn. Would they get annihilated the next turn? Probably, but we don't know what Japan has in store. If Russia moves all their stuff in, maybe they're going to swing behind. Or maybe they want Russia to stay there, so because they're going elsewhere. But it's going to be interesting to see how that border conflict, historical event, pun, is going to play out. That was horrible. I'm sorry, guys. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see. And then let's see what Japan has been up to since we're here. No good. Lots of no good. They've taken Kiangsi and Kwangtung and Manila on their turn. And they also destroyed some shipping, destroyer down there in 54 that was America's, and 37. And with that destroyer, America is in the war officially. And it's going to be fun now. Really, really fun, because it is truly global war. And you can see what the Americans are doing. Holy crap, guys. Lots of ships there. Lots and lots of ships. That is a capital fleet. And it is headed this way, man. Japan is in a good position right now, but this is going to develop in the favor of one side or the other. And so we're going to see how the dice decide who comes out on top there. But the Japanese, you might be saying they don't have a lot of ships here. With this little cavalry token there in 33 in the Carolines, that's the fleet they have there. So they have a capital fleet of their own, sizable, and that is a lot of stuff. But it's gonna be cool to see all those ships go at it, man. Have at it. I love watching big battles like that. Sorry about that awful cut. Got a phone call right in the middle of my video and it stopped the recording, but I don't like watching stuff like this battle in 54 that took place. A sub and a destroyer on behalf of the Americans went up to attack two Japanese subs, and that battle lasted about as long as the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It was so long, he sat there and rolled probably 10, 15 times. All misses until he finally ended up on top with a destroyer left. But holy cow, took so long to watch that. And I'm not saying it was a drudge. I just thought it was hilarious how long that lasted. It should not have lasted that long. But he did end up on top with that destroyer there. And he still got this sub in 60. I don't know what this submarine is trying to accomplish. But I'm pretty sure it's out of fuel. And if it doesn't dock soon, it's just going to sink. So, yeah, it's just chilling there in the Indian Ocean, just doing absolutely nothing. But in more interesting news, like I said, the Japanese took those territories. They have some land force there left. Big Air Force still in Anhui. They've been taking little bits of China left and right, just little nibbles, and they don't have really a massive land force to dedicate anywhere. But the Far East Command sure does. I mean, they have a whopping stack of guys there. And they've just marched all that from Burma, and those mechs from India, 6 of them, all into Yunnan. Really wanting to secure the Burma Road, I guess. So, but man, this is going to be really a bloody mess. See what the Japanese can muster to counter that, because that's a lot. That's a lot going down right there. The Far East Command also, they sunk a Japanese destroyer in 37, and that was really about it. They did make the Iraq play. I saw this coming from a mile away. But they took a guy from Egypt and the artillery from Ethiopia. And I did forget about the artillery. I thought they were going to take both guys from Egypt. But he grabbed the artillery from Ethiopia. That helped him out. I mean, it really didn't, because all the guys in Iraq missed. They weren't willing to put up a fight, so he just took that for free. But his cruiser and battleship have about the same accuracy as the guys in Iraq, because they both missed too. So, yeah, he's taking that. Probably going to slap a factory down in either that or Iran soon. If he's doing the Middle Earth play, we don't know yet. He could be doing KJF, and that's what it really looks like. But he's got options, and it's good as a nation to have options, because makes you less predictable and harder to counter, honestly. So, good plays from the Far East Command, and then just keep scooting along here as we're wrapping around the board. The British and the French have just been having a heyday here in Africa, which is fully allied, except for Somaliland. You guys forgot of Somaliland. I mean, oh, excuse me, I sneezed. I don't see why you didn't take that, man. That's the most valuable territory in Africa. What are you doing? But, yeah, they've been having just been goofing off in Africa, because they have had no what's the opposition? That's the word I'm looking for. They've had no opposition from the Italians, and that is because the Italian Navy, by the beginning of round 2, did not exist, and they also lost planes on top of that. The Italians did. So awful rolling for the Italians this whole game in terms of the Mediterranean and the planes. But yeah, the British have taken full advantage of that, and they've just taken all of Africa. Tobruk, they missed that one too. Not that big of a deal, but yeah, so they have their planes here in Alexandria. They have a bomber in Morocco and Gibraltar. They even have stuff in Gibraltar, a tank in Gibraltar. So there's that fort there that was there. It's a tank represented by a tank instead of a fortress. So, and then they have this fleet here that they could do whatever the heck they want with anytime. But they're just leaving it there and gathering it up and planning. But I foresee an Operation Torch from the British coming soon, since the Americans are not going for Operation Torch, because this is all allied already. But what the Americans are doing is gathering in Canada. They got a small stack of guys there in Canada and a big fleet here, and that is in range of the United Kingdom. All of that can be in C-Zone 109 by the end of the Americans' turn. They could also be in C-Zone 91 by the end of their turn, and they could land in Morocco, most of that stuff. But it's already allied, and so I don't know what he wants to do, if he wants to go for an Africa play or if he wants to reinforce the United Kingdom. Don't know. And it's probably going to depend on what I do as the Germans this turn. But we'll see. We'll see what the Americans do. And again, that's another options play, which is good for them. They did take Brazil this turn, the Americans. Got those free $2 and 3 infantry. And that stuff also has options. They can go up and join in the UK or Europe later, or they could just shuttle them on over to Africa. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. And I think I've covered everyone except for China now. So China just did that. They just built stuff in Qinghai. They saved up their money last round. Interesting play from Warden. And this turn they slapped, I think it's 8 dudes and 2 artillery in Qinghai. And they did take out an infantry in Shenxi with this fighter, taking a risky play. Because they could have lost that fighter, their only fighter. They can have the whole game. But nope. No, Warden gets better fortune on the opposing team's defense than No Limit seems to get. So he did not lose that fighter. And he has a big stack of guys there, collecting 12 per turn, $12 per turn right now. So Asia is going to be an interesting theater this game. Japan is thinned out. They still have all their fleet left, but they're thinned out, and it looks to be out of position. But the Americans are also out of position right now. I mean, they're gearing up to be in position here in a moment, but right now they're out of range of anything. So it's going to take a couple turns for any major conflict to occur. But when that does occur, that's the kind of stuff that I'm all about. Seeing those naval battles that you have 20 ships up against 20 ships and 5 to 10 planes each, and you're just rolling tons of dice. And those are the exciting ones. And it's also going to be exciting to see this Russian-German front here develop. So what I've noticed about this game is there's been a lot of big plays instead of a lot of little plays like I normally see. Russia is normally a little play country in the sense that they have 3 infantry here, 3 infantry there, 3 infantry there, spreading their tanks out. But this game has been a big play game, meaning that there's just huge stacks of stuff. Big stack of guys are in the Baltics, big stack in Amur, big stack from the FEC in Yunnan. Navies are getting big, and then you have my German stack there in Slovakia. I mean, even Italy, considering, has a big mobile army there in northern Italy. The only little play area has been Africa, and that's just because it's Africa. You can't get enough stuff in Africa to make it big plays. But everything else has just been big plays. There's been like a little nibble here and a nibble there, but other than that, it's just, I'm going to build a huge stack of stuff, and I'm going to let you build a huge stack of stuff, and then our huge stacks of stuff are going to kill each other, and I hope that my big stack of stuff is bigger than yours, so I can survive with a tiny stack of stuff and take your stuff, right? That's been this game, it seems like. Just building. No actual breakouts, just building a ton. And in the next 2 rounds, we're going to see a lot of breakouts, guys. This is going to explode. This fleet is going to explode. That fleet is going to hurt. This is going to be ugly. All of that is going to be ugly. One thing that won't be moving is that British army in the United Kingdom. And that is because I didn't do Sea Lion intentionally, because I knew they couldn't move that stuff. So they can't move any of that stuff into Europe. It's just going to stay there until they can get a fleet and get some transports out and start shuttling some of it over. But other than that, yeah, it's been a big play game. So thank you guys for watching. That's the recap. Of course, I didn't cover everything, and that's because I'm not going turn by turn, going around the board, but it's been interesting, and my German turn will be up tonight. Hopefully, I'm going to talk to my allies and see what we can do, but that should be up tonight, and I look forward to the rest of this game, and may the best side win, and that is either side, no limit, before you go down in the comments and say, yes, may the best side, parentheses, the allies win. May the best side, either side, be the winner. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for sticking around. This is Enderman 103 saying peace out.